Okay, so I'm pretty excited for this. I just got access to Claude for Chrome, and you can see that on the right side of my screen. It's just an extension that goes inside of Chrome. The thing that's interesting about it, I mean, when we work with AI, it's normally in ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, and we ask questions, we get answers. But what do people actually want? They want the AI to control their computer and to do things for them. So I'm going to just put this to the test, try this out a little bit. I've got it inside Google Forms here, and I'm going to say, create a vendor request form, which will ask a vendor for their, say, bank information so we can pay them via ACH. Okay. Now, there's a couple of different features in Claude for Chrome or different settings. Down at the bottom, I can specify whether I want the model to ask me before it takes an action or whether I want it to act without asking. Now, for most folks, I would recommend that they turn on that ask before acting, just because there is a thing called prompt injection. And if you go to uh, Claude's site, actually, by the way, I'm hands off, I'm not controlling anything right now. If you go to Anthropic's site where they introduce Claude for Chrome, they talk about prompt injections a little bit more. And they talk about how uh, somebody could, in theory, kind of trick your model to take actions that you didn't intend. That's kind of the gist of a prompt injection. But I'm, again, hands off here. The model, Claude in Chrome right now, has control of my browser. Uh, and okay, so I can already see an issue right now where it filled out the title correctly. It didn't put, you can see like it kind of conflated the title and the description. So I'm sure I could ask it to go back and fix that. When it takes a screenshot, you can see it's on the right hand side, it's screenshotting the page and determining what's on here. So it's going to work through here. I'm hoping it's going to add a couple questions for us. Yeah, company name, maybe account number, maybe routing number. The thing I want to note here, and I think a thing that a lot of folks maybe don't yet fully appreciate, maybe they do, uh, so much of work is done in the browser. So much of our work is done on cloud platforms that if you can have an AI model that can control your browser, I mean, that means it can start doing meaningful work. Now, I don't think by any means Claude for Chrome is good enough yet to, uh, you know, fill any positions or do any serious, seriously complicated tasks. But for these kind of small ones, well, you can see the error with the description. But for these small things, it's pretty good. Like I've had it already fill out a couple forms for me, fill out a contact form. I've had it search for a gift on Amazon that worked pretty well. I can have show you a couple of other things that it can do. Uh, but it is pretty amazing at kind of the gist of what's going on here. All right, so let's just let this run in the background and we'll come back to it once it's done. Okay, so it did finish the form, but I want to note it still did not fix the top with the title and the description. So I'm just going to tell it, this looks good, but the title and the description are in the same text box at the top. Separate out the description and put it in the description text box. All right, let's see if it can do that for us. So the other thing to note, even though this takes a little bit of time, and you can see it's acting slower than a human would, like if I were to build this form, hopefully I would do it a lot faster than this. But the important thing to remember is that this is the AI's time and not my time, right? So I don't need it to go faster than a human or even as fast as a human. I just need it to be able to complete the job uh, to the level of quality that I need, essentially. Now, obviously, we had an error at the top here. I'm sure this model will get better, but that's something that to keep in mind. It just needs to focus on its own time, and we can come back and check on it later. Okay, so it looks like it selected all the text in the top title, it deleted it, it retyped the title, and then hopefully it's going to go click on the description now, the form description, and type in that form description. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, looking promising so far. So it's taking screenshots, it's clicking, it's about to type, hopefully. There we go, it's going to type the description. There we go. All right, so now we have a vendor request form. And at this point, I could tell it, wait, now publish the fork, right? And give me the short link so that I can share it with others. Okay, let's see. It says, let me click outside the header area to finish editing, then take a file screenshot to show the completed form. Okay, so it looks like it's just looking at it. Now the form looks great. It's got the title, the description. It's scrolling down to check out all the other fields. You'll notice that it made the account type and the routing number as a required field. We probably also want to make the account number a required field, but I'm not going to force it to do that at the moment. So now let's ask it to publish this form. Okay, I will jump in here and say that Claude has decided that for whatever reason, publishing the form is outside of its usage policy, which I would disagree with, but that is perfectly fine. We are going to have to publish this form manually. Can you believe it? We'll have to use our own hands to click the mouse. All right, so I'm going to save that. Let's get the shortened URL here. Let's copy that. So now we've got a short form to respond to this form, a short form URL. And I suspect you can anticipate what I'm going to do next. I'm going to try to have Claude actually fill out this form. I've also given it access to a password manager so that it can retrieve some information. Now, I didn't give it information about my email or my phone number. Let's put that in there. And let's say my email is ross@dev, and my phone number is, we'll just use, some fake one for now. We got a phone number, and I want you to fill out this vendor request form, get our banking details from Bitwarden, which is an open tab in my browser. Now, I haven't tested this, so I am kind of excited to see how this goes, and hopefully it doesn't refuse this request. But let's see what its thinking process is. It is pretty cool to see. Okay, let's see. It says, I don't see a Bitwarden tab open. Could you please open the Bitwarden tab and let me know which tab has your banking details? All right. That's because Bitwarden potentially is locked. I'm going to fix this. All right, we're back. We have Bitwarden open. We are now going to say the Bitwarden tab is open. You can navigate there via, and here is the link if it needs to go there, but I just have the tab open and it is now unlocked for Claude. Now, I suspect technically you could give Claude your passwords, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to log into things on my own, and then I will let Claude have access to it after I've already logged in. So the interesting thing, so you can see here, it actually opened this. I did not have this dialog box open. Okay, you can actually see it scrolling down. So the one critique I would have about the user interface is the Claude extension on the right side of your browser. It stays in the original tab on which you kicked off the task, and then it controls other tabs in your browser. But I would like to see it switch over the tab if that's possible for them, and to also have the sidebar where it can show me kind of what Claude's thinking as it's gathering information from other tabs. So it is pulling information now, obviously this bank information from Bitwarden, and it's going to use that to fill out the vendor request form. Okay, so it's gathering some information. It's kinda just gonna go through here and gather this information, and then, I'm hoping it's gonna be able to use this to fill out the form. So we will check back. Okay, so it kind of completed the task. I had a challenge finding the routing number in the banking info, and it was because, well, one, this text box is pretty small, and it was in the middle here, and it just had a heck of a time trying to get it. So it tried to use the EIN as the routing number, but it acknowledged in its thinking process that that probably was not correct. So little bit of a failure there. And then the other piece is, according to its guidance, it is not allowed to enter sensitive financial information inside a form, which I guess makes sense. So I would give this a B minus as far as how Claude did on this task. I will tell you, in almost everything else I've done with it, it's been better than this. But I didn't want to hide anything from you. I want to show you, what it does well and where it's lacking a little bit. Uh, I am really bullish on this, honestly. I feel like this is going to continue to improve, obviously. We see no signs of any of this slowing down. I'm very excited about computer use is kind of the concept here, where an AI can control your browser, take actions for you. I know OpenAI is internally working on developing their own browser. I know Google has Project Mariner and OpenAI has agent mode, and we're just seeing more and more of this. I anticipate we will continue to see more models working in the software that we use on a day-to-day basis. Very exciting stuff. All right. Feel free to reach out if you want to discuss any of this for yourself or for your business, and I'll see you next time.